Hello, my name is Gordon Anderson. The whole point of the Second Amendment is that the people have the right to keep and bear arms. We all live in the U.S., where gun crime and violence has been a big issue as of recent, and frankly, gun control is just not the answer. Criminals will still obtain firearms, while law-abiding people will be restricted from adequately protecting themselves. I have owned handguns and rifles for many, many years. I have written many gun control papers, and I have heard most or all of the arguments supporting or arguing against gun control. Today I'll be discussing the reasons and examples of why gun control is not the answer, why allowing law-abiding people to own and carry firearms is justified, as well as what can be done to prevent any of these laws from being passed. Now that you know what I'm speaking about today, let me further explain the problem to you. Even if gun control laws are passed, criminals will still acquire firearms, while law-abiding people who obey the laws will be restricted. Criminals don't abide by the laws, so why impose them on good people? That is just giving criminals the upper hand. For example, Bill Clinton implemented a 10-year assault weapon ban in 1994 that also banned high-capacity magazines, or magazines that can hold more than 10 bullets or rounds. And 8 states currently ban these magazines. However, a criminal is not going to go out and buy a 10-round magazine for the gun that he or she should not even possess in the first place. Also, Lois Beckett of the New York Times claims in her 2014 article, The Assault Weapon Myth, that Clinton's law, which banned assault weapons and high-capacity magazines from 94 to 04, made little difference, and if it were renewed, the results would likely be small at best, because criminals typically don't abide by gun control laws. For example, in 1998, during the assault weapon ban, 67% of all gun-related homicide defendants had at least one prior felony arrest, and 54% had at least one prior felony conviction. These people did not abide by gun control laws, and they ended up killing somebody. Now that I have divulged the problem to you, let me tell you how it can be solved. By preventing any more gun control laws from being passed, we can ensure that our constitutional right is upheld, and that we have adequate protection. The problem can be solved by simply adhering to the U.S. Constitution. Jeffrey Toobin, who is a senior analyst for CNN, states in his 2012 article, So You Think You Know the Second Amendment, that the text of the Second Amendment reads, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." Just as the First Amendment protects freedom of speech and religion, the Second Amendment protects the right to keep and bear arms. The problem can also be solved by ensuring that law-abiding people remain allowed to carry firearms in public. For example, the 9 states which currently have the lowest violent crime rates are all states which allow their residents to carry firearms in public. The key is arming good people properly, not restricting them. Limiting people to certain firearms or limiting their magazine capacity does not limit criminals. It only limits the people who need this protection. For example, Native Americans lost their land because they did not have firearms. Now that we have a solution, let's talk about how preventing gun control will benefit you. Preventing gun control laws will ensure that you are not further limited on the type of firearm you can own and the amount of rounds that your gun's magazines can hold. For example, if multiple assailants attack you, or if an attacker possesses high-capacity magazines, why should you be limited to 10 rounds? This is a Glock 9mm 33-round handgun magazine, and we should all have the right to protect ourselves with one. Preventing gun control laws will also ensure that law-abiding people are not further restricted from carrying firearms in certain places which are labeled as gun-free zones, like, for example, movie theaters. John Lott, who is an expert on guns as well as a columnist for Fox News, indicates in his 2012 article, did the Colorado shooter single out Cinemark Theater because it banned guns, that gun-free zones are a magnet for those who want to kill a lot of people and do it quickly. And the theater that this mass murderer chose was the only one nearby that banned guns outright. He could have gone to a closer theater that allowed guns. So let me end by saying that you need to contact your state's representatives and let them know that they need to oppose any gun control laws which are proposed. Americans should avert any further gun laws from being passed because these laws disobey the Second Amendment. Criminals don't follow them, they will still acquire firearms anyway, and these laws only impact good people by restricting their firearm choice or magazine capacity. Therefore, we must let our representatives know that we won't stand for this injustice and oppression. Law-abiding people will suffer while criminals won't be bothered by gun control laws. If we prevent further gun control, our Second Amendment right will be upheld, and we will be allowed to protect ourselves and others with adequate firepower. So please call, email, or write your state's representatives to let them know that you will not stand for gun control. If you have any questions, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your attention.